dreams. We all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a night of laughter and science as we dive into the wild world of Rusty, the bio-blunderer. Now, you might be wondering what a biologist like Rusty is doing on a comedy stage. Well, strap in, because Rusty has a unique talent for turning even the most ordinary biological experiments into extraordinary chaos. Whether he's mixing up his lab samples or accidentally releasing lab mice into the wild, Rusty's biology adventures are filled with surprises. And to Rusty, I say, you may not be the world's greatest biologist, but you sure know how to create life's little oops moments. So, get ready for a night of scientific mishaps and side-splitting laughter as Rusty takes us on a journey through his hilarious world of biology gone wrong. And don't worry, folks, we've got the safety goggles on, just in case Rusty decides to conduct any impromptu experiments tonight. While working as a biologist, this is what my manager said about my work. Rusty, you've got a real talent for turning biology into comedy. Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. They say you're a biologist, but your experiments always end up in bio-laughs. One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday. You've got the magic touch, everything you touch in the lab disappears. Last week, my controller threw this curved ball. Your lab reports are like suspense novels, we never know what's going to happen next. Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, "You're like the Houdini of biology, things disappear in your lab, and we can't explain how." Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "Your experiments are like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get." And neither do we. Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this: "You've got a special place in our hearts right next to the chaos theory." Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "Your biology class is like a roller coaster full of ups, downs, and unexpected twists." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work: "I've heard of natural selection, but your experiments are more like supernatural selection." You'll get a kick out of what my manager said. You're the only biologist I know who's turned controlled experiments into a comedy show. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? "Your lab notes are so entertaining, they should be published as a best-selling comedy novel." Another day, I went to work and my manager said, "You're a real biohazard not because you're dangerous, but because you're hilarious." One day, this is what my supervisor said about my work: "Your microscope must be the world's smallest comedy stage because it's where all the action happens." I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. "I've seen your biology presentations, and I have to say, you're a real sellout." You won't believe what my team said about my work recently. "Your biology class is like a sitcom, it's filled with laugh-out-loud moments." We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem: "I heard you discovered a new species, the clownfish." Let me share what my team had to say about my work just yesterday. "Your lab partners must have nerves of steel to put up with your experiments." My team's feedback on my work was quite the surprise: "Your biology class is a real blast, sometimes literally." So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work: "Your experiments have more plot twists than a mystery novel." So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, "I've got to hand it to you, you've turned biology into a barrel of laughs." Last week, my controller threw this curved ball: "Your lab coat is like a magician's cloak, it hides all the evidence of your experiments." You won't believe what my team said about my work recently: "You're like a mad scientist, but without the genius part." Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "Your biology class is so entertaining, I keep waiting for the laugh track to start." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work: "You're a true biocomedian, your experiments always leave us in stitches." My boss's perspective on my work took an unexpected turn when he said, "Your biology class is like a comedy club, you're the headliner, and we're the audience." Picture this. My executive's comment on my work went something like this: I heard you tried to cross a chicken with a kangaroo. Now we have a bird that can't stop bouncing. So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. You're the only biologist who thinks DNA stands for do not amuse. Just this Wednesday, my colleague said this about me. Your experiments are like a comedy sketch. They start with a bang and end with a punchline. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? I've never seen anyone turn biology into a stand-up routine quite like you. It's like my superintendent woke up and decided to roast my work with this comment. Your lab is like a comedy stage, and you're the star performer. You'll get a kick out of what my manager said. I heard you tried to make a plod laugh. Now it won't stop giggling. Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was, your biology class is like a comedy improv. You never know what's going to happen next. Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. Your lab reports are a real page-turner, mostly because we can't wait to see what goes wrong next. I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this. I didn't know biology could be so funny until I met you. While working some extra hours, my team said this. Your experiments are like a sitcom full of wacky characters and hilarious mishaps. One day, this is what my supervisor said about my work. You're the master of biological slapstick. Your lab is a real comedy of errors. We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. Your biology class is like a three-ring circus and you're the ringmaster of chaos. The other day, my boss had this to say about my work. Your lab is like a comedy club and your test tubes are the punchlines. You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said. I heard you tried to teach bacteria to dance. Now they formed their own microscopic dance troupe. Another day I went to work and my manager said, your biology class is a real side splitter. I've never laughed so much while learning about mitochondria. Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, your lab experiments are like a comedy show. Everyone's laughing, but no one knows why. So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. You're the only biologist I know who turned dissection into a slapstick routine. In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work. I heard your latest experiment involved talking to plants. They replied with plant-based puns. Guess what my manager said during our meeting? Your biology class is like a roller coaster full of ups, downs, and unexpected twists. I've heard some things in my time, but what my superior said about my work was truly memorable. I didn't know biology could be so entertaining until I met you. It's like a never-ending sitcom. One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday. Your lab notes are like a comedy script filled with plot twists and surprise endings. I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. I heard you tried to teach amoebas to sing. Now they're auditioning for Amoeba's Got Talent. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work. Your biology class is like a stand-up routine. You're the comedian, and we're the captive audience. My employer's feedback was quite the surprise when he said, your experiments are so unpredictable, they make quantum physics look straightforward. Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this. You're the only biologist who thinks cell division is a comedy of errors. I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. I heard you tried to make fruit flies tell jokes. Now they're performing at a fruit fly comedy club. While working some extra hours, my team said this. Your lab equipment is like a set of props for a comedy sketch, always causing mayhem. I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. You're the king of biological punishment. Your jokes are positively viral. So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. I didn't know bacteria could be so funny until you started your microbiology experiments. Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was, your lab is like a sitcom set full of zany characters and wacky mishaps. We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. You're a true biocomedian. Your DNA jokes are truly double helix. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? Your biology class is like a circus. You're the ringleader, and we're the amazed audience. I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this. Your experiments are like a magic show. We're all waiting for the grand finale. So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. Your lab reports are like a comedy of errors with a side of questionable results. Just this Wednesday, my colleague said this about me. I heard you tried to teach frogs to tell jokes. Now they're croaking up a storm. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my biology comedy show. I hope you had as much fun as I did poking fun at my lab mishaps and quirky experiments. Remember, biology may be complex, but it's also full of humor if you know where to look. And if you ever need a laugh, just think of my attempts to teach Amoeba stand-up comedy. But before I go, here's a little something from my manager, Rusty. Even though your experiments were real bio-blunder, you've kept us all entertained. Who knew science could be so funny? Thank you all for being a fantastic audience. And remember, laughter is the best laboratory for the soul. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here and have a good day. See you on the next one.
And we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Hey, I may be the worst at my job, but at least I am entertaining. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your manager is saying about your work. And if you didn't enjoy this show, well, I promise I'll try even harder to disappoint you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay employed and keep smiling.